heard the clue that we must have our.
Blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
In the center.
Oof. There we go.
I feel like Eddie Murphy's character on Saturday Night Live. You know, shut up before you make me smile.
Right.
Wow.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Trifecta Show. It's the center.
Hey.
I'm Veep. I got Sharita. We got my man D-Ray in the building. Family, what it be like?
It be like spring forward on Sunday.
I do. Yeah, I do. And yo, to my family, Daps, love y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Where's your
D-Ray.
fist bump? It's your virtual fist bump, D-Ray.
It's a virtual fist bump to everybody. Not he said headbutt.
Virtual headbutt.
Oh. Go in, John.
A little bit of everything. D-Ray, do me the honors and
I got you.
You know.
I thought you were going to give me at least an introduction.
Sure. I'll take it.
Okay.
Because I didn't know the song. So
No,
you drop
fine.
the song and I'll get your credentials and all that.
All right,
good
here
stuff.
we go.
You got the volume? Volume?
Do not. There we go.
Okay.
This is our song of the week.
God bless you. Oh, yeah. Let's go. Oh, yeah, I'm loving that. This track of the week is by my man D-Ray, the producer. If you're looking for beats, you can contact him at soulresmusic.com and get that hook up.
Appreciate it.
Well, as we always do, we like to take care of them bills quick. No doubt. Sugar Shack. We're gonna put this away. Hold up. There we go. This is whole new dealing with everything in your face like that, but I'm liking it. It takes a little adjustment. So listen, first things first. Where is it at? It's all the way up here. If you haven't already had a radio station to tune into blastradio247.com. We're the champions of indie music. You will hear all types of artists all around the globe, all types of genres. Is there to your listening pleasure. Again, blastradio247.com, and it's on the Live 365 app. Check us out. And also, if you're an independent artist, spoken word poet, or an up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. If you're a fan of great independent music, you too can go to blastmusic247.com and register as an unlimited fan and get access to hundreds of independent music. So there's the QR code. Go ahead and scan it, and it will bring you to blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry. Why not our time? Okay, cool. Bills is paid. I'm trying to find my list. I got so much icons on my desk, man.
Thank you for that.
No doubt.
Appreciate the love. Thank you, Kara.
Appreciate you.
Apparently, I'm going to have to start printing stuff out if I can't find icons up in this mug. Here we go.
You know what? I was about to shoot from the hip.
Okay, here we go. So, what's that? All right, so current events, man.
This has been a very, very rough week.
You want to go to Monday, or do you want to go from Monday to today with our emporium? Rest in power.
Thank you, Kev. Appreciate you, brother.
You know, it's almost like Sharita. It's all merging together. You know what I mean? It's like this week. I guess we could go from Saturday to today. Mm-hmm. In less than 7 days, we've lost 4 or 5 different icons in music, and not just regular old whatever, absolute icons.
Yeah.
Right. Starting off with, unfortunately, and I can't even believe I'm actually saying it, the tragic crossing of Angie Stone, who passed away last weekend. In my opinion, and I'll talk more about this later, Angie Stone is probably the most underrated artist of all time. There has never been an artist, male or female, in my humble opinion, who has been on the precipice of 2 different large forms, large genres of music at the same time, and basically have, gone unknown. She was at the precipice of hip hop. She was there at the start. She literally ushered in the neo soul era. And like I said, I'll talk more about that later. But rest in peace to Angie Stone.
No doubt. Also, another music great, Roy Ayers. Oh,
dude,
man,
dude. To the godfather of neo soul. That was his mind.
Like, absolute facts. I mean, and I put on my Facebook page, if you grew up in the 70s, it's like his music is imprinted on your DNA.
There it is.
Like, literally, I don't know. It's like it's written into the code. Because we all have that same feeling when Everybody Loves the Sunshine comes on. And so that was rough. That's rough. And it's really difficult to be sad for somebody that lived a full life, because Mr. Ayers was 84.
Right.
But I think it's just the idea that your life is finite and we don't have a lot of time to be playing around and not showing up.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. We're now the legacy makers.
Yeah.
And anyone who is a creative knows that we all have the barriers. Can I do it? Will people love it? And, once you get past what anyone else thinks and you put your blinders on and you just continue to just go forward and move forward, that's what trailblazing is. And that's what Angie Stone did and does and will continue to do in her music, as well as Roy Ayers. And who's our other esteemed person?
We had Dwayne, is it Wiggins from Tony?
Yeah, passed away today. And,
Jeez Louise.
He
everyone has seen his name at least once.
Right.
What makes you think I will try to run some game on you? Just as sure as my name is what?
Dwayne. Yeah.
And you know, I think all of us, we had where we fit in when we were coming up, and I was more R&B than I was hip hop, and I wanted to be like Tony. I wanted to dress like him.
That was the group.
I tried to dance like him, and it's just like, it's just real. It's surreal.
Yeah.
That one of them, and at the age of 53, it's just super surreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember I saw them live one time at the Dixie Classic Fairgrounds in Winston-Salem. It was one of those 97.1. Shouts out to WQMG 90.1 Triad area in North Carolina. They do a lot when it comes to bringing urban music to our area, live and on the air.
Salute.
And, had a wonderful opportunity to sit and chill with Ninth Wonder that day because we was stage side. Had some really good positioning. I won't even say seating because it's the fairground, so you got to bring your chair and stuff. And I was remiss, I didn't chair, and so I was just chilling, walking around, and I came across Ninth. So we observed a little bit of the show together. It was a real nice opportunity. So yeah, that's the only time I ever saw them live. Yeah.
Sugar Shack says, man, D-Ray, who didn't, especially the fashion? Absolutely. Hey, dude, check it. This is back in our little skinnier days.
No doubt.
the suit and tie with the little brooch. The chain brooch. That was straight out of Tony, man.
Oh, and did they do the shoes with the little design on the top?
Yeah. And the patent leather, so you could do the James Brown easy.
Yep. The hats. Yeah. Tony.
Colors.
They did a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
And they had such a unique sound, and I think Tony was also one of those groups that sort of merged hip hop elements into R&B. Along with like the Teddy Rileys and the Jimmy Jims and Terry Lewis's.
Stacey Adams, yeah. Wow. He bring it back. He bring it back on us.
But yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Sharita, you and I talked about this, that we are in a unique place as far as our age gap and in the life, that we are seeing our parents and those that we grew up with fade away or pass away. And then we still see our generation of kids following our direction. And it's just like we're literally in the middle seeing two generations transition. And it's just like mind blowing. And that's why I'm like, I'm trying to do all I can while I got the strength and the energy to. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, if I can pick it, go ahead, Sharita. Go ahead.
Our counterparts, a lot of our counterparts are really, oh gosh, I want to say I saw Dame Dash talking about how he was trying to tell Irv Gotti. He was interviewing somebody. He was like, I was trying to tell Irv Gotti, a little bit about the diabetes and stuff, and if I'm gonna do it with you, man, and it's just wild to see people that we listened to growing up with Salt and Pepper hair, or even like Marla Gibbs getting an honor at the African American Film Honors, and seeing her stand next to Regina King, who was once a budding actor.
Yep.
Alongside of Marla Gibbs on 227. Seeing Kadeem Hardison and Jasmine Guy and the Different World crew going on a tour, and everyone has wrinkles or has aged a bit. It's just really like, wow, did we ever really imagine that these times would arrive? And and how, I'll just say ignorant to the fact that we have been, and knowing that we have to do our due diligence and serve them by cherishing and honoring their legacies, as well as creating our own.
Absolutely. And my thing is, I want to die empty. I don't want to be, somewhere about to take my last breath and like, man, I should have did this, or man, I should have did that. I had this idea, I had that idea. When I go, I want to be like, everything was left out there. And just looking at over the past few months, look at who we've lost. And I mean, while they leave a great body of work, the bulk of the responsibility of carrying on and continuing to create is on us now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it is really high time to start paying attention to everything. Not necessarily your craft, but your health as well.
Health, because you won't be able to craft.
Fact. And and everybody that's a producer always romanticizes Jay Dilla in his hospital bed, laying donuts. But there was nothing romantic about him having a disease that would ultimately kill him. You know what I mean? And so when you know better, you do better, and we need to do better because we already know better. Yeah.
Agreed.
I'll say real quick, cats out here talking, about smoking, drinking, doing all the things, right? They don't understand that if you end up having some type of cardiac event because of neglected health, that would take your capacity to use your hands or the creative side of your brain or other parts of your body that would keep you from doing your work. That's why, for like me as a producer, and knowing, I have a diagnosed high blood pressure situation, I try to write as much as possible. I try to stay busy. And a lot of times my busy gets ahead of me. Like my husband had to put me down last night. He was like, put your phone down. Just put everything down, go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you're sitting here doing all the things and you see things going on, and I don't even like to say losing, our because we're really supposed to be saying we're gaining a great thing by passing on and going on with the body. But it's like, seeing these things happening, seeing these processes, like, everybody's time is gonna come. I'm not even a mad dash, but I want to be in a consistent path to
gotcha
self, and I just encourage everyone to do the same. Because whatever it is that you do, that is a part of your legacy. What?
Jose's confirming your statement.
What I have to do is show him that I'm listening by telling others.
Facts.
Not even that he doesn't get it. He just knows that I really get it because it's like a stamp. Like, oh, she other people, so yeah, she got it. But yeah,
I love it.
Stay your course, stay your path, guys, and keep your health in check, like D-Ray said. It's so important. You don't want to, even if you don't want to do what they tell you when you go, at least go and see what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At least go and see, and then have an option. Give yourself some option. Don't just sit here, just do all the things, and then when it comes down to, it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this is going on. And well, there's some things that probably prerequisite your doctor visit that you eventually had to go to that made you aware of what was going on inside your body. You just didn't take advantage. I mean, I myself is guilty of that. A lot of people, and I'm not even going to just put it to the African American community. I'm going to say universally. People are busy. People are trying to not be weak. We all want to be strong, but that little ache or that little pain that you're having or that dizziness that you thought you felt, I had a hard time getting out of the chair. I got dizzy. How many times did that happen? 7 times. What? Go get checked out.
Right.
And it's funny, like, and sometimes it's not that you need to go, and don't get me wrong, you definitely need to go if you don't know. My problem is the people that actually do know, right? Irv Gotti had a stroke because he was eating a plate of Chinese food that is traditionally high in sodium and high in MSG and high in cholesterol, and he sat up there and had a stroke because he didn't want to eat healthy. You know, and he said that. It's not like I'm talking about the man. You know, I respect him and respect the art, but the man sat up there and, in the interview he said, "I don't want to eat healthy because healthy food is nasty." Well, what's the alternative? You know,
you get your reward,
right? And to me, there for so long, music has been such an important part of my life. But the older that I get, the more I realize that it can't be the most important thing. You know, because music can't save you. Music is a result of something. You know? It is, yeah. Thank you for that, Sharita. But it's a result of something. It's a result of an equation. And you know what they say in multiplication: anything that multiplies by 0 is 0.
Yep.
So I can have the most talent on planet Earth, but if I'm dead, the answer to the equation is 0.
Yeah.
I mean, you be saying such good sense things, and it's such a spiritual flair behind it.
There it is. All right, so let's start going forward. You got a segment piece for us, D-Ray, or no?
Are we gonna do Blast Artist Spotlight, or we're just gonna?
We can get that done out the way.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get that out the way.
All right. Well, you know me, I always like to reminisce on something dope. And I actually found this jam right here. This is Blase Blase with Danger. Let's check it out.
Oh
my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God.
Put out the word, blase has emerged. Surge, most preferred from the verbs and words I finesse. Try your best to diagnose. When I host, you get roast, toast, baked, grilled, broad. When I rumble, you crumble. My stuff is good like Morongo. Soup, rappers getting super and rugged. While I'll unplug it with my semantics hit your nugget and expose. You know how it goes when it be gritty. When we roll, it's like we got the key to the city. It won't be pretty for you to challenge. Knock you off balance, bitter, reconsider your talent. You weasel, you're better off pumping diesel. I find it feasible, your days is over fronting evil. Shouting to your people trying to bless your spot. But we don't believe that, cause CBS tells a lot on who got shot and who does all the crime. Danger! And you do it all the time.
When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God.
And when we in the house, ain't no time to act shiesty. Come at us feisty to your ass, that is pricey. Costing, you get baked like Mr. Boston. Beans in a box, you need more strength than just locks. I rocks hardcore, even when I dress suited. On some business shit, my street is deep rooted. What is this shit? Rappers want to blossom, but they all a costume. Thinking we buffoon, I tell you soon you'll learn the hard way. Thames and blunts, going Broadway to the theater. Hard rocks is getting weirder, like Vera. From Alice, the East is in your palace on some proper shit, and it will never be the opposite.
When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God.
And when we move on your circuit, you better pray to who you worship. That's recommended. Ass kicks come splendid. Long-winded, but I don't need my respiratory to bless my story. You got nothing for me. It's been plotted behind doors, they scheming up for my arrival. Rappers are teaming up, doing symphonies. It's gonna be limping MCs when I plan my rap. You be left handicapped. Sweat gather because I bring you no jalopy. Building on heads that be older than your poppy. Pack a NYPF backspin to the essence. You get started by the presence
when the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East is in the house. Oh my God. Danger! When the East is in the house. Oh my God. When the East
those Timbs when they threw them across the side.
You know they did. The illusions of Gwen McCoy. And I believe she just passed away this week as well. A few days ago. Craziness.
Shout out to Blase and the crew. Saw my man Jaru up in there. Jaru the Damager up in there.
I saw Guru up in there. Fat Joe was up in there.
Fat Joe, yep.
And I think it was really brilliant that Blase and his producers used Jaru's track to sample it and then had him in the video.
So come clean, right?
Exactly.
Very smart.
And imagine what it took to do that with the equipment that they had back then. Like these guys, I mean, I watch a certain podcast, and it's two rappers from back in the day that host this podcast, and they are telling stories these days about how things used to be. And I think a lot of people from the 90s, or who lived in the 90s like we did, have these stories to tell. And the way that things really were done versus how they're done now, I don't think that people really understand what they say. I don't think young heads understand the gravity of what it took to make a track.
Facts.
I mean, you actually had to have some kind of musical inclination. It wasn't just, I'm gonna just copy this part of the track, or I'm gonna just use this and use that. And don't get me wrong, that has been done before, as I'm about to go into a little later. But the real good samplers, half the time you didn't know where they got it from. For example, our own Sharita has this track that I have been racking my brain on, because I recognize the snare and I recognize the chord progression. But to this day, and I don't want her to tell me, I'm still trying to figure out where she got it from, because I know I've heard it before.
Which track?
I think that was. Hold on, it should be in our list, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't Manifesto. I think it was the other one.
It was before Manifesto.
Yeah, it was the one before Manifesto.
Glow?
I think that's it. Yeah.
It's not in the list anymore.
Yeah, I don't want you to tell me neither. I'm going to figure it out.
Oh. That's going to make it even sicker for you. You already know.
Of course I do. Because I told you, like when we first, in our group chat, I told you, I said, you got that from an 80s track. And I was like, I know it, but I just can't think of it right now. And every time I hear it, it wrecks my brain. But that's good sampling, in my opinion.
I learned from the group that I was in, Self-Contained Underground Beat Architects. Shouts out to my husband, DJ Sugar Shack. KG, and a guy named Walt Jones called himself Third Part or Satchel Head at one point. They taught me the ABCs, and the last part of it was the sampling, which is what Jose taught me, because he was a beat programmer from the time he's like 12, 13 years old to now. And he taught me how to make clean loops. Of course, back in the day, it was really hard because you weren't looking at waves on a screen. But now, you can literally get concise and magnify those waves to the point of crispness. And even when you're going to get that kick or that snare from that track.
Facts. So we're gonna go ahead and move into my quick little segment on, because we do this thing. I do this thing called Who Sampled It, and it's going to be a little bit abbreviated tonight because y'all already know I'm not quite feeling things tonight, but we're going to soldier on anyway. So let me turn this down just a little. So I'm going to play a little bit of this, and you guys tell me where this is from.
Keep the heads ringing. Keep the heads ringing.
what?
You better get up out of your chair.
That's right.
And work your body down.
Yeah.
No time to funk around, cause we gon'
Funk you right on up, so get up, get a move on.
Okay, I caught the KRS-One.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
I thought that was KRS-One in the beginning.
Buck, booyaka shot. That part I thought was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna give you another clue. All right. So here's another clue. So let me pull this up. Okay, so that really ain't fair. I'm gonna forward it just a little bit.
Is it in the title?
Mm-hmm.
Uptown Saturday Night? Like what?
Mm-mm.
Now, there was a little.
Amazed. Go ahead.
Are you?
I was gonna say there was a little part that it kind of sounded like, what Prince used to do back in the days. That little organ sound. I don't know what that sound effect would be, but it was light.
So the clue, that was like clue, actually 3. The first clue, I mentioned the name in the first part of the show. How many more seconds do you guys want to stew until you get it?
I don't. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, right. Go ahead. Let's keep it pushing.
The sinister bee in me is enjoying this.
Oh, you're happy. Yay.
No, I ain't go that far.
The sequence.
And she said that he never paid her for that. I just saw that interview today. She said he never.
Right. For the uninitiated, that was sequence with Funk You Right On Up.
Rap group.
Facts with our beloved Miss Angie Stone, and that came out in 1979, right? And as you can see, so many people have sampled that particular song, and they don't give credit to the fact of where it actually came from.
Sugar Shack popping his collars.
Let's go, Sugar Shack. And so, and the thing is, that's kind of the problem. Or I'm gonna do one more, and this one is going to be not as apparent, but this is going to lead you to what the actual problems with sampling is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let's see, because this is going to be real easy.
You are. We gotta play the.
Straight fire.
I had to stop that because I will fall back to 1992 with that one.
Sugar Shack, let's go, man.
Absolutely, and of course, I have to play. I have to play the GOAT.
Oh, here we go.
my life in the sunshine. Everybody loves the sunshine. Sunshine.
Fire.
That song, I don't know about you guys, but that song does something to you.
It's dope.
Yeah, it does. It kind of tears you up. And, you know, I am from High Point, North Carolina. I have flown over New York. I have driven through New York. I've never been to New York. And there are certain songs that take me there, and I've never been there before.
Absolutely.
Like I listen to Roy Ayers. I listen to Everybody Loves the Sunshine, and I get the immediate, like I'm transported to a vacant lot that's between two high-rise buildings where kids in the 70s are playing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I'm right there.
That's dope.
So, but that in live, go ahead.
And not to be like, you know, I really think that people in the South, I mean, of course, the South had its challenges, still has its challenges. But I did not grow up in the burning Bronx.
Right.
My husband tells me so many stories about inner city life. Right. And how even the government was trying to do different things to make it less accommodating for the love of money. We'll just keep it poetic.
Oh,
you know? And
I mean,
when you think of a song like that, you think about the plight of children, the plight of people. And if you look at my life, the way that she sang it, but if you think about how he originated it, Everyone Loves the Sunshine. And even just the whining of the keyboard or the organ or the whatever instrument he was playing, it was just like a cry.
Yeah.
An inner city cry, right? And when you know, like even if you go to New York City, you can see why it's so everyone's trying to make it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I mean, Southern life is a little bit slower. That's why they all opt to come here, because it's literally a escape from that.
You're absolutely right. And I feel like that Mary J. Blige's My Life sort of speaks to our generation and our time, because this generation, the Generation X, was the first generation that had to implement what the civil rights movement fought so hard for. And we were the generation that had to grow up in the integrated school. We were the generation that had to survive crack in our neighborhoods. We were the generation that had to endure AIDS and HIV for the first time. And we were also right. And so that song was almost like a lament. It was almost like a David in the Bible writing a psalm for our generation. That's what the importance, in my opinion, of that particular song. That being said, though, one of the chief issues with sampling is that there was no real intricate sampling technique in that song. They took a part of Roy Ayers' song, they changed the key, and they added some drums to it, and somebody else wrote a different song on top of it. And that has always been the primary problem with sampling.
Absolutely.
And for me, I study music history. Composers in the Baroque period, the Romantic period, from Mozart to Beethoven to Bach to Chopin to all of those guys actually sampled. Now, they didn't use electronics because electronics didn't exist, but they would take pieces of music from each other's pieces, and they would take a certain bridge part, or they would take a certain phrase, and they would lift it and put it in their own, right? Create something new from what they just lifted. And they all did it. They all did it to each other, right? So it's like it's not anything new, but I honestly think is that the emergence of hip hop in the 80s with the rebellious nature of it, the unabashedness and the unforgiving nature of it, I think it scared a lot of people, especially who were the architects and the originators of the genre, right? A lot of historians say that. Thank you, Kev. A lot of historians say that Sugar Hill Gang was the first hip hop group to actually do a sample. I would disagree with that. Why? Because when you use a sample, you're using an actual previous recording. What Sylvia Robinson did with Sugar Hill, they actually hired musicians to come in and they played Chic's Good Times. So they played it, right? They actually had actual musicians. And so to me, while that's almost like doing a derivative work, which is probably why it was never sued, or they gave them writer's credit or whatever the case may be, when I think of sampling, the first track that I think about, honestly, that I fell in love with, that I knew was sampled beyond a shadow of a doubt, was probably EPMD, You Got to Chill.
True.
That was the first thing I actually fell in love with.
Yeah.
Meaning because of the more bounce to the ounce sample?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I knew that because I was a Zap fan. But this song right, I'm sorry, go ahead, Sharita.
I said rest in peace, Roger Troutman. That's all I said.
God, yeah, you know, that's still unbelievable too. That whole situation. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole, but but this song right here, and this might surprise a few of you. This song right here has a dubious distinction. Let me see if you guys can tell what that distinction is.
Make a clap to this.
To show our appreciation for your support.
Make a clap to this.
Thank you, DJs.
Make a clap to this. Make a clap to this. Make a clap to this. Make a clap to this.
It's that bass line, right?
Nope, not the bass line. Who can, and if you're out there in the comments, who can tell what this song has the dubious distinction of being? And it was Eric B. and Rakim, Eric B. for President, which was released in 1986. Let's see if anybody out there. Thank you, Sugar Shack. That song, believe it or not, has been listed as the first hip hop song to use a James Brown sample. That drum beat was a James Brown. Exactly. Right? Now, James Brown, from the early, maybe mid 80s up until maybe just yesterday, James Brown is responsible for 3,000 different hip hop songs. He's been sampled 3,000 times, right?
Yep.
A lot of which he never got compensated for.
That part.
Because, you know, it wasn't that it was James Brown that wrote a lot of the stuff. I mean, it was his yells, it was his screams or whatever. But it was like Jose, like Kev said, funky drummer. It was Clyde Stubblefield, who was in James Brown's band that did funky drummer. And that little bit of a breakdown basically built hip hop. And Clyde Stubblefield never saw a dime for that. You know what I mean? He never got a dime for that because it was a work for hire. He was James Brown's employee. You know, it's like the dude that created the Nerf gun or created the IBM computer. You don't get patents and royalties for that because you're an IBM employee. Right. So, but that in lies the problem. So where do we go? We go to let me look at my notes. 1989, and this is going to be a court case that's going to be near and dear to our friend Sharita's heart.
Oh boy.
Mark Volman, who was the lead singer to the Turtles, sued Sharita's favorite rap group of all time, De La Soul, in 1989 for using an unlicensed sample on their record. It is the first time that an artist got taken to court for sampling something.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, in that particular case, it got settled out of court. Nobody really knows what the settlement was. Nobody really knows what the breakdown was. But the next big case was 1991 when Gilbert O'Sullivan sued Biz Markie for using his song Alone Again on his album I Need a Haircut.
Oh, snap.
The outcome of this case is what really shook the music industry, because what O'Sullivan decided to do, instead of taking a monetary settlement, he decided, I don't want money. I want y'all to go get every single one of those records, and I don't care if you got to go up in somebody's mama house. I want them, and I want them destroyed. And that was where everything went left.
Wow.
And so that was 1991.
Wow.
So there have been people that said that, like there was a journalist that said that the cultural capacity to understand this culture and how it relates to kids was why this law was so really difficult to apply. Right? Nelson George, who has been a hip hop defender since the 80s, he said it's probably one of the most damaging examples of anti-hip hop vindictiveness. Right? The fact that you don't want to make more money, you don't want to be a rich person or, whatever, you want it destroyed. Right? Dang. So there was another thing that came out during that time. Somebody that we all know and love on this show, and I'm gonna just play this because it's funny how he says it, but I'm gonna just play it anyway.
You can't touch this.
I've only met MC Hammer one time in my life, and he was a nice guy. I mean, he was okay. But at the time, a lot of rap was going on that was really kind of off the beat, very derogative towards women.
Look, baby, you look real pretty. Let me pull up your shirt and suck your titties.
And I really got pissed off. Money. And I told my accountants and lawyers that no more rappers are allowed to use any of my stuff. Nothing. I was driving in LA and I hear the DJ say something about Rick James. And then he said, this is number 5 in the country pop record or something. And he played it on the, and I said, oh, great. I'm back. And the record stopped and the guy said, can't touch this. What? And then he really pissed me off. He says this line, my music hit me so hard. And I really got inflamed. His music, I remember calling up my accountants and lawyers and said, I really thought I told you guys not to let any more rappers use my stuff. I was young. And then they said, you're going to be making something. And I said, okay, never mind.
Rick James is very, very, very happy. And then because of my...
you can't touch this.
He was fine until he said all the money you're going to be making. Oh, okay, never mind.
Let's put it in perspective. Now, right. Let's put it in perspective. When Rick James came out with Super Freak in the early 80s, don't get me wrong, Rick James was making money hand over fist. He was selling out stadiums, right? Yeah. He was already making millions of dollars.
This is backup singers. Crazy.
You know what, Sugar Shack? I thought that too. I wasn't going to bring it up.
Right?
You're absolutely right.
Like the teapot calling the kettle black.
You know what I mean? That's like, no, I'm not going to say it because you almost got me in trouble.
Hey.
That's right, Kev. Shout out to Charlie Murphy. Rest in peace. But he was already making money, but the idea that he could make more money with a sample being licensed than he made pretty much his entire career in the early 80s.
That's wild.
So think about it. Let's say you made $20 million in the early 80s, right? You made a lot of doggone money.
That's a lot of money.
But let's say you made $50 million on one song in the early 90s. A piece of your song.
And you ain't got to go nowhere. That money's coming to you.
Ever. It's coming to you.
It's like, hey, is there any other songs that you want to sample?
You know what I mean? And so that was really the essential thing of sampling. But as with most things, sampling has always been complicated. It's always been complicated when you mix culture, hip hop, and race, because there's always been a double standard when it comes to samples being clear. Right. So, for example, in 1992, the Beastie Boys, who I have to say one of the dopest hip hop groups of all time.
Facts.
However, they are three white boys. They had a track called "Pass the Mic," where they sampled a jazz musician named James Newton, and they only used 6 seconds of the sample. Well, the judge said they called it de minimis, which in legal Latin means small enough to be trivial. And this was 2000. The judge ruled that it was small enough to not require sample clearance. That 6 seconds. And that case is where a lot of producers get, I can only use 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. Not so fast. Say that again.
That term used there in interpolation.
That is right. Yeah. So not so fast. So in a 2005 case, that somebody sued NWA for using a 2-second sample of a Funkadelic song. Dang. The judge ruled that NWA was in violation of copyright infringement for using 2 seconds. And the judge put in the actual law or in the judgment, get a license or do not sample. We do not see this as stifling creativity in any way. So for that 2 seconds, the judge set a precedent that with 2 seconds, you need to get a sample clearance. But hold on, not so fast. 2016 case with somebody sued Madonna for a 2-second thing that she used in Vogue in the early 90s, in 1990. The judge ruled, it was 2 seconds, and it goes back to the standard de minimis law, and she didn't require clearance. Sheesh. But wait, there's more. There was a legal case where someone sampled Kraftwerk's Metal on Metal, and that the judge ruled that you have to get permission for a sample that's recognized. A modified, unrecognized sample could be used without authorization. That's legal precedent, right? So at the end of the day, we are still fighting the legality of sampling that has been going on since 1989, because nobody can clearly give a legal definition on what it is and the validity of it. You have some people who will think that, and what Kev just said in the comments, it depends on who did it.
Yep.
Right? You got certain, right, exactly. You got people like Kanye who, because of some of the idiotic things he's been doing, he may never get a sample cleared again. That part. Right? But then you have other people who might say idiotic things and they can get their samples cleared all the time. One of the knocks, in my opinion, that I had against sampling, especially in the 90s, was it was one thing to take a piece of a record, loop it, and do something different with it. It was a whole nother thing for me to have Puffy completely like jack somebody's record and then change the key and like, I'm a super producer. No.
Can I say something?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So the song "Not Like Us" that everyone loves is a sample. Are you aware of the song that it's sampled?
I haven't even looked at it, but I could find out in about 10 seconds.
I want you to go ahead and wow our listeners because they don't know. I know, And when you find out, your eyes are gonna get big.
Okay. She put me on the spot.
Wow.
She put me on the spot.
So let me let you do that, D-Ray.
That's just going to show what you're talking about. Something that simple.
So what I wanted to do is I had a clip of Angie Stone talking about hip hop. So while he's doing that,
I see what you're talking about now, Sharita. Okay, but go ahead.
While he found that.
Can you go and get the song, and then so they can hear the.
I'm gonna let them do it, but Troy, go ahead. We're gonna come back to you.
All right, so let's check this clip out real quick.
The Sugar Hill Gang, Eighth Wonder, Apache, Sequence wrote those songs. Okay?
Are you serious?
We wrote those songs, and we were also the voices up until they got some singers. We did West Street Mob. So there was a lot of sweeping under the rug. They can't tell me hip-hop is not in our fabric because we wrote those songs for the Sugar Hill Gang. And we were the little country bumpkins that they never wanted to talk about. So when you hear, let's dance, I know you got the feet, but let's dance. Come on, and get down. That's us. I know.
Now, what she said in that piece, that last part when she's like, "Come on and get down." How many times have we heard that in hip hop?
Big time.
Right? How many of y'all knew that was
starter?
Right. How many of y'all knew that was Angie Stone and Sequence?
No, not till today years old.
You know what I mean? And you're thinking Sixth Sense. I see dead people. Is that what you were talking about?
No.
No, you weren't. What are you talking about? No, I'm. Go ahead.
Talking about that part.
I'm looking at something different, so please educate me.
Ray Charles did a song called, I believe.
Oh, I can see that. See that.
I believe it. I believe it.
I can see that. Jose, I really can see that, Sharita. Jose, the thing that made the Bomb Squad so powerful is their samples were so intricate, you couldn't tell where they got it from. You still can. To this day, I think in the early 80s, after like, I want to say, Welcome to the Terradome, but anything before that, I don't think they cleared a sample. I don't think they cleared anything. Because they didn't have to. Because the idea was, and you've heard a lot of producers that have come on the center and we've interviewed Cosmo D, we've interviewed on another podcast, Young MC. The idea was in the 80s, if you were a producer and you had a sample and you didn't want to clear it, you were going to distort it, change it, do something to it, and say, good luck catching where I got it from.
If you did,
if you catch me, you get paid. If not, you's a sucker. So,
and that's what D-Ray was saying about my favorite rap group, De La Soul. Their music was literally put on hold for decades because of the sample usage in their songs, their albums. They were just relentless. And I'm not going to say that they didn't care because I can't speak for them. I just know it brought a real creative movement in their music. That was almost their staple. Like, what are they going to sample now? Like, I think in the song called, oh gosh, help me. On 3 Feet High and Rising, there's a song about rock. I think they sampled over 12 to 15 songs. If you pull up, D-Ray, you're near a computer. If you pull up the track list for 3 Feet High and Rising, it's like rock, 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 keep on rocking, rock's the best. Rockin' music, the king of rock this world for you. I mean, they really did everybody. They did Run DMC, they did Gregory Abbott. The word rock is what they used, and they literally found every song that they could find with the word rock in it and sampled the crap out of it. If you
is it cool? Is it Cool Breeze on the Rocks?
Yes. If you'll play that, could you play that real quick? Just a piece of it, just so people could understand the gravity.
Let me see if we can pull it up. I got it, Troy.
Okay.
But there are two. While I'm typing this, go ahead, Sarita.
The way that this song was sampled, like it was assault.
Let me see if I can do this.
And as a producer, I'm laughing because the intricacy in which they did it was crazy. It's not right. It wasn't right. But when you heard it, was like it was ingenious.
Rock that shit, homie.
Light as a
Cool Breeze, you
Rockin' it. Rockin' it.
keep on rocking.
rock's the best.
Rockin' music.
Cool Breeze,
Rock
This world for you.
king and
Body rock.
You are not rocking with the best.
I put this together too.
rock the house. Knocker.
That's
simple.
great.
That is an extreme bite.
So it's, go ahead, Sharita.
No, I'm good. I'm done. I'm crying.
Yeah. So there have been, I have to say this before we land the plane. There have been at least two really, really monumental sampling cases that still reverberate, other than the ones that I said. This one right here, Tribe Called Quest, Can I Kick It, is also written into everybody's DNA that grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, right? Lou Reed owns 100% of the publishing and the royalties from Can I Kick It because they did not clear it.
Take a walk on the wild side, right?
Exactly. They did not clear it.
He can say, and all the black girls go do 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 do, right?
Right.
All right.
I will say that there was also a case, and I don't have a graphic for it, I just know it. 1992, group by the name of Arrested Development came out with their biggest hit, Tennessee, right? And Tennessee, right? Well, in the hills of the suburbs of Minneapolis, Purple Yoda, known as Prince, gets a whiff of this record and realizes where they got the sample of Tennessee from. They got the sample of Tennessee from his song Alphabet Street on the Love Sexy album, 1988. You know, because there's a line in Alphabet Street where he talks about he's going to drive his daddy's Thunderbird to Tennessee, right? So Prince sits there and realizes what just happened. He just got sampled, and the group didn't decide to clear it. Neither did the record company. So what did Prince do? Prince sat there and waited and waited and waited.
Of course he did.
Until Arrested Development and Tennessee was the #1 record in the world, right? And that is when he made a phone call. And that is when, after that phone call and the subsequent legality after that, the Prince estate, Paisley Park, has been paid off of Tennessee since 1992.
Jeez.
Arrested Development, yes. And Arrested Development, no, he didn't have to get back pay because Arrested Development ain't made a dime on their biggest hit since 1992.
Facts. Dang. That is
So-
crazy.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
all because
Now-
of go ahead.
Now that you said it, I believe you. Now that I know that song, that album back and forth, and like,
Like, and there are other cases if you were really into music history and law like I am or whatever, look at the Blurred Lines case that came out a few years back with Robin
Yeah.
Thicke versus the estate of Marvin Gaye.
Did they
Or look,
did
Oh,
they
no.
win that?
yeah, Marvin Gaye won that. Yeah, Marvin Gaye's estate won that.
Yep.
There's so many things, but here's my last thing that I'm gonna say about it. I really, really hate, even though I may not like the way some people sample or whatever, what I really, really hate is when you have a musician that says, why don't you just, learn how to play an instrument, or why don't you do this, or why don't you do that, or that this is no creativity at all. You know who was one of the biggest samplers of all time? You know what was one of the biggest actual modern sampled records of all time? Stevie Wonder's The Secret Life of Plants was the first modern record to use sampling. Most
Wow.
of that record was sampled.
Stevie sampled somebody?
And I need y'all to go back and do the research. And everybody in the comment section, go back and test me. And the next time you see me, tell me if I was right or if I was wrong. But Stevie Wonder's The Secret Life of Plants was one of the first records that was mostly sampled.
Y'all
Wow.
got home.
So, and I want somebody that's got a big enough cojones to sit here in my presence and tell me Stevie Wonder ain't a musician.
He said it.
He said what he said.
On business.
On business.
But I hope you guys enjoyed that. So yeah.
Yo,
Bro, that was a great segment for real.
appreciate your research, enlightening us all. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank
And
you.
initiative.
Thank you.
Also, we want to give shout out to D-Ray for his amazing music. This track has been riding and keeping us gliding through. Bruh, I love it. You
Thank
too can go to soulresmusic.com, get with my man. He'll lace whatever project you got. Definitely hit him up. So Sharita, you got next for next week. We need some of that dopeness. Shoot. Wow. That hour and some change went by quick. Well, anyway, I love it.
This is what happens when you're prepared and you actually show up.
See, he couldn't hold it, but we're gonna say the trifecta is in full effect.
The trifecta is definitely working.
Wait. Kev, you might be on to something. I like that. PhD Ray. I like that.
Wow. That was flavorful.
That's
okay.
actually kind of
That
dope.
was real. See, you got his mind ticking over there. Wow.
That's kind of dope, Kev. I like that. I might have to sample that.
Yeah, there it is.
Can I get
Look,
cleared?
everybody. Everybody, we appreciate you kicking it with us. Shout out to my people in the chat. Shout out to those that donated to the cause. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Listen, we want to fill this up. We want to have people just like Kev and just like Sugar Shack and everyone else talking to us. Come on in. Let's socialize. Let's get your questions and whatnot answered. We're here to share the history, the beautiful history of hip hop, as well as some of the new topics. Thank you, Sugar Shack. We appreciate you, brother. Whew, I'm full.
We ain't gonna even say just because your wife is in the city square. Jose really rock with us, so we appreciate you, Sugar Shack, for real. Don't be doing that. I'm about to cut your mic off.
So listen, we appreciate y'all. Come check us out next week, and we got some more amazing things that we'll talk about. And just like Rakim, it ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. So always keep it at the center. We appreciate you. You guys be safe. God bless. See you next week. Peace.
the jam in the center.